Hello, and welcome to Enjoy Your Time Off, and other things I wish people would stop saying to me. A layoff survival guide for high-performing women. To make a long intro short, my name is Skyler Holobach, and I spent well over the last 13 years building systems that make companies work. I believed that if I made myself indispensable to any team I was ever on, and if I was super high-performing and capable, it would insulate me from ever having to be laid off. I was confident being the go-to person my CEO called when everything was on fire would ensure I would never have to navigate the horrors of the Georgia unemployment system. And then a business decision turned me into a line item on some spreadsheet somewhere, and they hit delete. I became the one thing I had worked my entire career to never be. I became an unemployment statistic. I've spent nearly 20 years in the workforce, and now what I have to show for it is a login to what has to be one of the world's worst unemployment systems. Shout out to the state of Georgia for making an award-winningly bad unemployment experience. Bravo! If you want my whole career path, please feel free and invited to stalk me on LinkedIn. Now, why am I making this? I'm telling my story because when I got laid off, I went looking for the version of this content that would have helped me, and I couldn't find it. What I did find fell into two separate categories. There were these sanitized corporate HR platitudes about reinvention, and being grateful for the experience or whatever. And then there was the other side of it that was this hustle culture advice about treating your job search like a full-time job, waking up at 5 a.m. and taking cold showers and going to the gym and good night. Fully unnecessary. You don't need to be taking cold showers. No one needs to be taking cold showers, ever. So I'm building what would have helped me. And I will say, if you're looking for some magic potion quick fix that's going to solve everything, this is not that. There's no wand I can wave to make all of this better. I went searching. I turned up empty. What I will do in this is make you feel less isolated and alone. I'll share from my own experience, and I'll tell you what worked to keep me sane and steady. Now, I do want to say, I'm not pitching some $100 course or doing some sort of corporate thing. This is just human connection. I will say, if this does resonate with you, I would really appreciate it if you would comment on my LinkedIn or share this with someone who needs it. Enjoy your time off was probably the most frequently heard phrase I got within my first few weeks of being laid off. And I know people meant well. I know it came from a place of kindness and also they didn't really know what else to say. But I wasn't terribly sure, and I'm still not terribly sure how I'm supposed to enjoy having no paycheck and no purpose. I am not on vacation, and you probably aren't either. Now, I do also want to be very clear about something here. I'm not on the other side of this. I'm not, as you can tell, giving this talk from some stage somewhere 6 months down the line with the clarity of hindsight and a new salary. I'm still in it. I'm still having days where I stare at my laptop and I don't know what I'm doing, and I have days where I feel awesome and I feel incredible. And luckily, the incredible days outweigh the bad ones, but I'm still having both of them. And to be fully transparent, I did start my own business, providing fractional operational leadership to startups, which probably could be its own video series. It has its own set of emotional challenges, but that's not what this series is. What this series is 7 episodes, each one built around a specific piece of bad advice that I either got or that I found on LinkedIn, which is almost worse. That really made me want to whip my phone into the sun and then contact NASA and ask them for a job. But unfortunately, they don't work remote. I'm going to tell you why the advice is bad, what's actually happening underneath it, and then I'll give you something you can actually use. So, enjoy your time off. Assumes that a layoff is a vacation, that you woke up on a random Tuesday, you got some unfortunate news, and now you have a couple weeks before the next thing starts. Yeah. What that ignores is A, the market, but B, ignores the part where your Slack goes dark and you feel the loss of that like a phantom limb. It ignores that pit in your stomach you feel when you open your resume, probably for the first time, and you have to describe what you did for that job in past tense. Getting laid off is a loss. I don't mean that metaphorically. I mean your brain runs the same basic grief patterns it would run if someone died or a relationship ended. And interestingly, the people telling you to enjoy your time off are doing the same things people do in grief. They're making it smaller so it's easier to be around. And that's totally understandable. That happens. But it is also not your job to make them comfortable right now. So here's what I want you to take from this episode. 2 things. 1, I need you to give yourself permission to not be okay. You're not on vacation. This is not a super fun time to exist. You just had something taken from you that was a major part of how you structured your day, your identity, your sense of purpose, really kind of everything. So the appropriate response to that isn't relaxation. Relief, maybe. You could have had a toxic job situation, I don't know. But you don't owe the world you being chill and calm about this. The appropriate response is whatever you're feeling, even if that feeling is nothing, because numb does count as a feeling. 2, I need you to find one person and tell them the truth. I don't mean the version that's like, oh, well, I got laid off and it'll probably be hard, but I'll be okay. I mean the truth that's going to suck a lot to say. The version that says, I lost my job and I don't know what I'm doing and I'm scared and I think I lost a part of myself. You need one person who can hold that with you because the job search is long and terrible and you cannot do it while performing fine for everyone around you. You will burn out trying to fake that you are okay. I know that pretty confidently because I did. Please learn from my mistakes. Next, we're going to talk about the identity crisis. The one where you built yourself around being excellent at your job, and now that thing is gone, but wow, do you miss having any kind of structure in your life? I'll see you there. Thank you for watching.